Right, Adrian. So, got an exercise here for exploring the entire fretboard, right? So, whenever you're doing a solo, let's say, you're starting, maybe you're kind of doing rhythm guitar down here. You may or may not want to have to kind of jump up to your favorite position in the scale. The whole fretboard should be your position, right? That's the goal anyway. That's the ideal. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with having a preferred shape because different shapes of the scale gives you different phrases, right? Yes, it's the same scale, but since the notes are arranged on the fretboard differently on it, some scalar shapes are going to give you different phrases to others, right? So you do want more than one. Well, 5 preferably, if we're talking pentatonic. Not just for that reason, but so you can just do it anywhere on the fretboard as well, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go up and down each position with the triplet pattern, right? So triplet pattern is just this one, right? Down by 2 spots in the scale, back up by 1 and repeat. I know. Okay, so that's the pattern we're going to use. Okay, so we'll start off with the key of E minor. So what notes, and we always want to start from the bottom just for the sake of the exercise. We'll cover the whole fretboard, right? So the question is, what low note down here do we have that's in the key of E minor? And what position does that note have within the key, right? So the lowest note we're going to start off with here is E, and what position is that within the key of E minor? It's the first. So first position pentatonic is the first one we're going to use, okay? So we go up. Then we slide up to the third position and go down that one. Up to the fourth. Fifth. Seventh. First. Third. Fourth. Fifth. So that's the whole fretboard covered, right? So that's E minor, right? So that's an easy enough one, right? So let's say you want to do G minor, okay? So again, we're going to go right back down here. So what's the lowest one that we could do in G, right? So we've got, so note of E is not in the key of G, right? It's E flat. So F, okay, so what is F within the key of G minor? So it's the 7th, so that's going to be the 7th position. So we'll start here. First. Fourth. Third, sorry. Now the fourth. Fifth. Seventh. First. Third. And then you can kind of, yeah, you're kind of off. Well, I've got 22 frets, so I'm kind of off the fretboard for that one then. So you see the idea? It really bakes into your head the way those 5 different positions on the pentatonic kind of glue together, right? Then, once you get a really good handle on that, right, and just make sure you're not going in the same direction for each one, right? So, like, let's say if you go up on the first position, make sure in the next exercise you go down on that one. Okay, so then after that, it's a question of filling in the pentatonic, right? So you know yourself already that the pentatonic has the first, third, fourth, fifth, seventh, right? So we're missing the second and the sixth. So let's say we're in the key of D minor and we just happen to be here. Okay, so what's that? That's G. G is what in the scale of in the key of D minor? It's the fourth. Okay, so that's fourth position pentatonic. And then it's just a case of filling in each position. So in this case, in the case of the fourth, it'll look something like this. No, that's right. Sorry, forgotten which key I'm in. Okay, so if you now you'll start noticing little patterns as well, right? What does that look like? Looks kind of like the G natural minor scale, but with a sharpened sixth, right? So G natural minor scale with a sharpened sixth is the D minor scale. Little things like that. Now that's just one example of something you'll notice when you start doing this kind of thing. That's really important. Again, that kind of glues it all together. So with a sharpened sixth, so a minor scale with a sharpened sixth, right? So what is that, right? That's your Dorian mode. Okay, so in other words, so what that means then is just this is the way you need to be thinking about it, right? If you play, if you're in the key of G minor, right, and you play the D minor scale, that's the Dorian mode, right? So you'll be in G Dorian just by playing like you're in D minor. So instead of ending on what would normally be the first, which is the D there, right? You just play your D minor scale, but end it on the G. So this is a great exercise. It takes a long time now. This is, as I said to you, this is going to be a kind of a long-term thing for you to work on in the background. But all the pieces really do start to come together. You've got your pentatonic positions, you fill it in to get your natural minor positions. Then when you start to see the way these things connect to each other, you start to see how you could very easily transition from one mode to the next as well. So there's a good bit of depth in this as well. And just make sure that, one more thing before I go, is just make sure that your transition from one position to the next is smooth, right? You don't have kind of repeated or overlapping notes, right? So for example, ignore the bum note, but you get my point, right? It should be a smooth transition. One more thing, actually, now that I think of it, right, is, the way it's important, like, let's go back to our first position, let's say A minor. The way you know already, right, that this bend here is going from 4 to 5. So that means in order to get that dirty flat fifth sound, you want to underbend it, right? Okay, but you don't generally do that with this one, because that's your 7 to 8 bend. You want to go all the way up to 8 every time, right? So let's say this is your fourth, flat fifth, third one, minor third. So if you want to get a little bit cheeky about it, you could sharpen it up to a major third. So because you know what those notes are, you know how you can kind of mess with them, and you know what kind of effect you will get by messing them in said way. So the only point there is to learn all of the positions in that way as well. So let's say if we go, we'll stick to A minor here. Like for example there, if I'm running down here, right, so this is the fourth position. I'm not going to end it here. I'm I'm going to end it there because that's where the root is, right? Let's say... Now, this bend here on the G string is your 7 to 8 bend. Okay? And then this one here, there's your 4 to 5 right here. There's the 5th, or... You get that bluesy stuff. So you know what I mean, okay? Just learn. So there's an awful lot in that, okay? So, yeah, get cracking. Talk to you tomorrow.